Okay, we're going to talk
Yes,
about
yeah.
consciousness. And
And
Yarna's going to start.
a very important part of consciousness, um, that is accessible to you all. Like it's not just me,
Mhm.
it's actually every single one. And yeah, do you want to open up the message that
Y-
you sent to me earlier?
Well, I'll just say it. Forgive yourself and them. I think that's what it was called, right? That was the title of the message that came through last year on October 31st. And then on October 31st in 2020, the message was it was never their fault or yours. What that is talking about, the process of evolution and the process of our individual ascension and also our collective ascension, meaning the entire world. Every human comes to offer something, and it depends on what we're offering as we're moving through our life journey. Not a lot of people think about ascension necessarily or think about that process, but we do think about personal development and self actualization and all of that. And at some point, we come to the place where we discover, oh, wait a minute, I'm not really in this physical body forever, so maybe I should get on with raising my consciousness and doing something wonderful for myself.
And how we can do that is very simple, actually. It's with us intending to do so.
Mhm.
It's very simple. We gotta be here right now, reset ourselves, like as if we just arrived in this moment. And we look for the inspiration to work through us, right? It's nothing that we actually have to try to do. It is more something that if we allow ourselves to be, it can work through us and we can take inspired action naturally. And we all feel how naturally that occurs.
Now,
Mm.
we each will discover ourselves, evolve. We have different roles we're meant to play when we come into the world, and many times we don't know what those are. I certainly didn't know that I was going to live the life that I have and what it was going to
Mhm.
produce. But I do know now that we're not limited. But I had to live
You,
all of that to
you
come to
know
understand it.
what I thought of before we came on here.
Hmm.
You or what I saw is better than what I thought of. What I saw was how we all tap into energies that are in alignment to certain messages and expressions. So the expression that we choose to be right now equals the frequency that we are attracting and therefore or that we are and reflect to the outer world. It's it's very interesting how you channel Wilhelm and how I see you in that message.
Hmm.
Like I listen to you channeling and I have you. There's lots of Roger in the message that they channel.
Hmm.
Like there's because it's still you, it's you the messenger.
Hmm.
And I think we all are messengers for certain things. And this
Exactly.
is where we hit the point. Like we are all here creating something.
Mhm.
And we gotta become aware of like what are we creating in us for what are we wanting to create for us in order to be happy, feel success, be successful, be free. Freedom, a big point. Self-liberation.
Right.
Self-liberation. It's like you are free, totally free, with no need to for any external source to prove that.
And what we come to understand is there's an alignment in the universe, and I happen to tap into it. And so the reason I said that the message I received on October 31st of 2020 said it was never your fault or theirs was a continuation of something we would come to understand now. Because
Mm.
what happens is as we move through our individual journeys, we will start to make comparisons, we'll judge ourselves, and that's all old stuff. That's all
Yeah.
things that we've learned. And so our what we're meant to do now is to move beyond that in different ways, individually and also collectively. But it's sometimes it was challenging for me because I wrote
It's
it all
about
down.
it's about individually tapping
Yes.
into the power that you tapped into,
Hmm.
that we all can tap into, whatever
Exactly.
that means for us, what that level of information actually is, what we all have access to. Excuse me. So we all can like tap into that ourselves and create with that. It's not that Roger is special or that I am special or that we are special. Like it's very unique to every one of us how we choose to express that, know what we have given. And that access to his higher self, like Roger does with the messengers and how they are connected to life circumstances, is you can't, like there's just so much alignment in there and synchronicity, and you can really see how things are connected and everything is connected at the same time.
And to understand this, we come to understand science. We come to understand how we operate as humans over time, and we develop that in different ways. So, what I was given to develop was bringing in a philosophy that was going to help us all move through this particular transition in our world. And I didn't that didn't make sense to me. And so I'm saying this because every one of us will find something within us that we didn't know was there that gets developed as we live. And it's just different things. And so mine was to sit down every day and receive this information, not knowing what it was going to turn into. But I know everyone has that. Everyone has something they've developed that's within them that's waiting to be bring to the world. And when more of us do that, we have a very different world because we're happier. We're living in joy. We're living in peace. We're living in all of that. And that's the period that we're moving through right now. And especially in the United States, that's what's
Mm.
happening.
And like how I see the program is that you give them like, you give their logical mind
Hmm.
a way to understand it.
Hmm.
Like how what I do is like I transcend the entire logical mind. But like for them to live in this physical world, it is so beneficial to have that walk through the physical mind and how it functions and why you behave the way you behave,
Hmm.
and like really gain an understanding about what your purpose is. And on the other side, you tap into that God self, or you tap into that consciousness that is everything, and like you experience that knowingness yourself from within through your own experience. So you don't really need anyone outside of yourself, but like they are mere mirrors and give you the information that you need in this moment to have the experience that you have and to know what you know, right? Like you are here fully complete in this moment and experience an experience that you haven't had before, so there's magic in that.
People will see this. I'm because I this is and Stan's working on what we're putting in the program about automatic writing and also channeling because I want more people to understand this. We all have this connection to consciousness, to cosmic consciousness. I just developed it, and it was uncomfortable in the beginning. I want to say that because I didn't understand what was happening. We all have
Mhm.
that communication. We all have that still small voice or whatever term we might have heard, but it's every single person has something that they're meant to do. The biggest challenge for me has been in these last 4 years since that message has been trying to explain what was happening, what was going on in the world, and to tell people, no, you can really become great. This is the best time of your life because we're being asked to move through our limitations individually and collectively.
It's they are already great. Like who you really are is already greatness. To be at where you're at right now, listening to my voice, you gotta be great to listen to this. Everything else would not make any sense. So,
And that's
like, tap into that
Right.
truth for yourself and like, resonate on that frequency.
And you can say that, which is perfect because that's ultimately what people will come to understand. And what I did was giving them the steps. I was given the steps to come to that understanding. We will all do it in different ways. And when we,
Like you gave them steps, like
mm,
that they can take. Like it is for people, like we gotta make steps
mm,
when it's presented, when we're curious, when we feel that this is my experience. I'm drawn towards it,
mm,
right? So I take those steps, I move forward in my life. It's automatic.
it-
It's nothing that I have to try to do. Like it's usually the most natural thing for me to do.
mm,
It is more um confusing or like destructive if we actually identify with anything that we do
mm,
or that we are that is limiting us in any form. See the magic in our speech,
yeah.
see the magic in our hands, how I touch you, how am I touching life generally? And if I'm becoming aware of all of subtleness, I see how life really is in a constant flow and in a constant movement that we all can be part of, experiencing this movement, this eternal movement, and like you can kind of choose how you want to move in all of that, which is a big gift, which
Okay.
is a very big gift.
That's okay. I'm just gonna read this one line because what you said was really great. This is from the I'm not going to share this. This is from October 31st of 2020. Um, okay, some people will get this right now. You each will discover where you have placed yourselves in limitations of your own making. And when you find that, you will blame someone. You will first attempt to blame another, but ultimately you will blame yourself. None of those actions are helpful and indicate you have yet to understand the evolution process fully. That's what we're doing. And to say, I mean, people can probably understand that today, looking at their lives or the world, but then it was like, what does this mean? But I'm saying we're all here to do something that is within us and it gets developed. We just got to move through the generational crap. That's all.
Whatever we do, but like why I'm here is to help people really tap into their potential and feel who they really are and know who they are and like experience life as it is. Like no more confusions,
Mhm.
no
Yeah.
more like, struggles about like, oh, really? And should I do this now or not? Like no, pure clarity upon like what you do and why you do it, who you are and why you are here, you
And
know, accessing that part of yourself.
And for a lot of people, they can't see it. And I want them to be okay with that because that's part of the process. They will
Hmm.
say, I don't have a process.
I don't even create that reality even.
I'm just saying for people who are looking at where they are now, just where they are now, and they're wondering, they're seeing is the experiencing things in the world or witnessing, because we're all seeing it, the
Mm.
wars and people are wondering what's happening. It's all energy that we
Mm.
all carry. But
That
because,
we are like that we are aware of.
yes,
It doesn't mean that we carry that,
it's that we
but
also,
we are aware of it.
yeah,
We do not need to carry that energy, guys. Like you can decide from now to not carry that energy. Just because you see it, it doesn't mean that it's part of you.
you're right. And also it's to understand
So
your individual role and how it's connected to all that is. And so because of that, you could have blocked yourself up off at this time from knowing who you are. And so the process of ascension is moving through those blockages. That's what. And so it's nothing to feel bad about or judge yourself because you haven't gotten there, is what I'm saying. It's a process. And so, because you say things in a way that people just be here and it's going to be great.
not even a blockage. It's not even a blockage that anyone has to go through. It is more like a dissolving of illusion.
Mhm.
It's really something that you see that you just created with your mental concepts and like, if you take your own mind in responsible, um, yeah, you observe your own mind and
Right,
start taking care of like the thoughts that you harness.
right.
You see the world is reflecting you something incredibly great back, you know. The power that we have, we got to be mindful.
I'm going to talk about
um
this because okay,
or
I want
mindless.
I want everyone to understand this. We come in because we have to appreciate this. We come in with different awareness. Yarna was born with this awareness that was beyond his years. And so he can say these things and know them from that standpoint. What I did was I sat down and I did it every day. And I'm just going to talk about this. When I looked at um, the 2012 messages, I can look at each day that I received something, and I knew that it was changing my brain. Now I didn't know what it was going to turn into, but I'll just give you a couple praise. That was one. It was saying we become dependent on it, which makes us less empowered because we learn at a young age we've got to be praised before we do anything to own ourselves. Then the next day I can look, it was focused attention, telling us that we have the ability to use our consciousness to create something, and that is through using our attention. Then the next day they said, now look at your vision. What are you imagining? And then the next day was about reflection. It went on. And so this is how I've built all the work for people to understand that it's a process, a continual process that we move through individually to come to what's your body? I'm getting your hand.
Oh fuck, sorry.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is that I want people to understand. We move through a process in our lives where we come to understand more of who we are, accepting more. And then if we can take that concept and look at the world and look at it now and know that everyone is attempting to do that. But we fight about it sometimes. And so, but this is the time where we can move beyond that and start to just understand who we are and love ourselves. That's why that message said it's not wasn't their fault or yours. We carried old stuff and now we're supposed to we can let go of it.
Hmm. It's important for us to know who we are and really tapping into like truthfully tapping into that in every moment is something that you can do
Mhm.
and that I highly recommend you to do to be responsible um for that, to once a day at least remind yourself on who you are, or like set the intention to truly know and want to know, desire to know your eternal truth. Because you do have a truth, and there is a truth that is all encompassing everything. Like we are all in there together. And it's time for us to realize that no, we are all a little weird, we are all a little different, and we all have abilities that we can share with the world around us because we are all here together, right? There is only one people.
Um, the one thing, I mean, I love that you said all that. And so the main thing that we do and what the thing that gives us the most power and ability in our lives is to uncover and discover who we are. And the thing that we don't want to do is discover and uncover who we are. That's the
It's
dilemma.
like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's exactly that which kind of it's that fuel from within.
Mhm.
All of those things like you just don't want. Like you just say like nope and make that very clear energetically.
Mhm.
That there are things that you don't want, that there are things you do not want to exist. So like this is your responsibility. I mean, I'm going deep with this right now. I feel that. But
But
It's
just to,
really that
no, that's
deep.
okay. I love that you're talking about it because again, you're talking about it from a perspective that a lot of
Mhm.
people would want to be there or understand. And
Oh,
I'm
I don't know if they want to be there because um, they would be here if they would wanted
no,
to.
I know, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. I can say all day long, listen, you can have this great light, you can move through this, but because it's been programmed that no, can't happen. My family didn't do it. I couldn't. That's that programming, and so we have to, and it's generational always, because we're coming from limitation. So then we have to decide, let's move beyond it. And what is happening? What Wilhelm has given me for this particular period, there are different periods of time in civilization where we have big dramatic changes. And the reason 2012 is mentioned because that was another period. And we can go back and look at all the different events that happen and connected to the changes of the in the universe and planets and see the energies changing. We could figure all of that out, except if we just accept, well, wait a minute, it was a little limited. Let's do something else with ourselves, which everybody has the ability to do. That's what we're doing now. So now that's that. I'm so glad we talked about this because Stan said we've got to tell people what the program is about. What's it for? It's for anybody who wants to have a great life, to reach that next place of what they're meant to do and
You
move through
know,
everything.
like if you really want to feel that you are in the power of your own creation and what you create, like you just feel that you really have the power to create your best reality, to live a great life, to be successful, to be happy, like come from a loving point that is neutralizing everything else that allows you to stay grounded. No need to do anything differently than just to live that, and be in harmony with your surrounding and see like what do I have that I can give
Right.
to my surrounding. Like in the moment that you give, you are automatically filled up with new energy. You automatically receive something, and then you just vibrate on that new frequency, and life gives you back what you now vibrate on. So this is how actually manifestation works.
And so, and Yarna, it's just, I could, again, he can sit here and explain, and he's absolutely right. And I just wish that we could just inject that into everyone. Anyway, but we're also, what
We
I'm going
do,
to
like we do,
do,
like it's like a flu, like you got to give it to it's share it, you share it automatically
yes,
being shared. Those influencers share informations, and this is what we do. Like we just aim for our highest potential, and like we all have to know that we deserve it and that we are worth it, and that we all have like creative energy within us that wants to be expressed in a very great way. Like just like how can we direct our creative energy? We are all creators, but what are we doing with our creative energy?
perfect. I'm
It's
going to put a
something
link
like,
to that video, to the, I mean, to this message that we were talking about. It's on the site, but I'll put it in this video. And then also, um, the channeling session on our new moon. We have a new moon on Friday, and so I would love for people to come to that. I don't, we must understand when I'm channeling Wilhelm, I'm in a different dimension. I'm in a different place. So I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I do know that it is a time where we have available energy to really manifest something great for ourselves and our world. That I do know. And that's why we're doing this. So I'd love for people
yeah.
to show up. And the message last that we were given is like, it's about our goal is self-love. That's what we're always trying to get to. And when we can do that, we're fulfilling our purpose.
Yeah, we we gotta live it, and it's so much joy to create in this world and to make progress and to, yeah, grow.
And and I just want everyone to know we can achieve change. We can do anything. It's just we just got to become willing to do it. That's all. So they'll understand. We'll all understand. That's what we're going to do. So,
You just arrived where you're at right now and you see what you can create from here.
perfect.
Yeah. Easy, sir.
Good deal. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Hopefully,
sir.
we'll see you guys on Friday.
See you on Friday,
Yeah.
Just stay tuned.
Okay. Thank you.